Thank you for this opportunity, Eric, to visit with you to talk about the student government resolution with regard to Chick-fil-A. First and foremost, let me recognize and acknowledge the leadership that student government has provided to bringing this important matter and issue to the forefront at SIUE. It is important, and it is a topic that needed conversation. It is a topic that needed to be discussed across campus, and I think that happened throughout the process. And as a resolution called for that caused me to pause for a moment and to think about the resolution, to think about the SIUE community, to think about this issue. This was not an easy decision. It's a difficult one. I had to balance between my own personal values against my professional values, and I asked myself, how do I weigh these two and make a decision that I believe is really in the best interest of SIUE, both for the short term and the long term. And in doing so, you know, I seek guidance, so to speak, as each of you would do when you have difficult decisions to make. And in one of the principles I use is what's known as serenity prayer. Give me the courage to change the things that I can, the strength to accept that I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. So in addition to that principles, I also visited with my own colleagues and mentors to help me think through this important decision. So let me share with you the process. First and foremost, recognizing that this is, in fact, an SIUE community decision, and it affects the whole community. I pulled together an advisory council representative of the university. It had constituents from staff council, from faculty, and from student government and other units on the campus. And the purpose of this group was to collect information, to listen to information, to analyze information, and to synthesize such information in helping to come to a conclusion. And I really do appreciate the good work that each member of the council contributed in our many discussions. We also listened to the debate that student government organized with other organizations. It was engaging. It was well planned, well developed, well articulated, and provided for some thought. As you probably know, there were probably a zillion one emails that had to be reviewed carefully. Each email was given careful consideration and considered in the process. I had requests from both individuals as well as from different groups to meet with me to talk about their ideas and their thoughts and their impressions and perhaps their suggestions on this matter. With the advisory council, we had conversation with representatives of Chick-fil-A. There was also much conversation and discussion as I briefed and updated Chancellor's Council. As I went through the process, I recognized many voices, and there were many voices on this matter. Some very strong, some very passionate, most, I suspect, with great sincerity. But there were also voices contradicting each other, voices in conflict, voices that had different ideas, different views, different feelings of this matter. But nonetheless, those voices were important. And each of those voices was considered in the process. Based on the following considerations, we came to a decision. First and foremost, we looked at the document provided to us by Chick-fil-A. It's called the Who We Are document, as well as their conversation with us. In a sense, they assured us that they are going to do business differently, that they are going to change their way, that they are not going to be contributing to quote-unquote social issues in the future. We also understood that Campus Pride, the national organization, I suspect as a result of the Chick-fil-A assurance, have suspended their campaign against Chick-fil-A, and that was an important consideration. We also recognize that Chick-fil-A, even though in the contributions to organizations that's not consistent with our values, nonetheless did not discriminate in any shape, fashion, or form. We on campus would have not tolerated such a practice or policy, and would be in violation of all of our ethics and values. We also had to take into the legal considerations in this matter to protect the interest of SIUE, and that weighed in the decision as well. Finally, I want to impress upon all of us that we also have choices, and we have to let our own personal values, our own conscience, our own beliefs to guide us in making decisions. And I know that some of us who feel very, very strong about that, I would invite you to make decisions based on that, and to make choices about where you might and who you might do business with. And if you feel strong about Chick-fil-A, I would invite you to stay away from Chick-fil-A and to vote to some degree with your wallet. That can be, in a sense, a very powerful message about how you feel and how you behave. To that extent, it is important for us, I believe, to continue our relationship with Chick-fil-A and to assure that we will continue to monitor their behavior and be sure that they are consistent with what they have said to us and what they document of who we are states. So Chick-fil-A will in fact continue to be with us and be an option for our students, as we have many other options within dining services. About the future, I believe that out of the conversations, the impression I was left with is there's much work to be done on campus with regard to creating a campus environment that is safe, that is comfortable, that is caring, that is inviting, that is inclusive of all communities, including our LGBT. To some degree, I'm very proud of our recent survey that shows that we have a commitment to the LGBT community. We did well in that survey, and I do believe, though, that we still have much work to do.